Hello, and welcome to Cracking the Lightning Code, where nothing means anything because Hasbro has no sense of consistency. For anybody out of the loop, Hasbro has officially revealed Wave 9 of the regular assortment. No Monsters Wave 2 yet, despite those figures being scheduled to release alongside Wave 9. But we already know who those are, so that's not a big issue. For 3 of the figures in this wave, we already had a good idea of their identities. LGY Earth and Rad Mercury are Lost Galaxy Blue and S.P.D Green, as we already figured. Funny to see Lost Galaxy Blue with his trans daggers after my speculation about those before. Shame neither version of Red has his. BLM Mars is in Space Black. This is our first outright confirmation that Mars is black, but various signs were pointing this way, so again, it's no surprise. And then there's Tanga. Yes, he really is Mighty Morphin Tenga Warrior. I know a lot of people from the off were speculating that that was the case. Many of them calling the Tenga a Tanga, so if there's Tenga egg on my face, then I'd like to pettily point out that I'm not the only one. I couldn't accept the possibility that Hasbro would really be as transparent as to use Tanga as a codename for a Tenga, and hey, I guess that means their code system worked on me at least. Kudos to them for that. Or shame on me for thinking too hard about it. Or expecting too much of them. The real issue, though, is the series code. Up until this point, everything has indicated that Zuth meant Zeo. We have Zuth Mercury, Zeo Green, in Wave 8, with Zuth Venus, very likely Zeo Yellow, ahead in Wave 10. Zuth Radar, aka Mighty Morphin Z Putty, appeared to have been a mistake, to the extent that Walmart had the figure named Zeo Putty when it initially unlocked Wave 7's listings. So, for all intents and purposes, Zuth Tanga should be Zeo Tenga Warrior. I'd speculated that the Zuth Radar mistake happened because whoever set out the codenames thought they were called Z Putties because they were from Zeo. But that doesn't hold here. I find it harder to imagine somebody thinking the Tengas were from Zeo than that the Z Putties were. Honestly, I don't have any ideas or suggestions about why the Tenga's been coded like this. If it's a mistake, I can't see the logic. If it was intentional, I can't see the reasoning. Maybe they did call the Tenga Tanga to try and throw people off, but it's an entirely different thing to break your own code system to obscure a figure's identity. So I don't think that would be the reason for the use of Zuth here. I'd almost be inclined to think that maybe, for some reason, Zuth means Mighty Morphin Seasons 2 and 3, as well as Zeo. But then we would expect to see Parantis Head coded Zuth Parantis Head, and there would be no need to code Mighty Morphin Metallic Pink as SRE3 Neptune. If anything, you'd need to find a way to differentiate her from Zeo Pink, since both would be Zuth Neptune. What does this mean going forward? Well, it's going to be a little bit harder to take the codenames at face value. Who's to say that BLM Parsec is really an in-space figure? Perhaps the figures in Monsters Wave 3 are actually another 2 Mighty Morphin monsters. I feel that the Ranger codenames should still be trustworthy enough. As noted, you can't really use one series code for 2 different teams without doubling up on codenames. But for any villains, monsters, or other figures with unique codenames, I'm not going to be as confident in assuming that the series code is correct. Maybe that's okay. It'll make for bigger surprises when things are revealed. And it's always tricky to identify the figures with unique codenames beforehand, so it's not the greatest detriment. All it does is make the guessing game a little bit harder. I will call this factor the Curse of the Tenga Warrior. Before I wrap up, a quick side note. I checked out the image URLs for the Tenga on Hasbro Pulse, just in case it happened to say SRE Tanga. It actually says Zuth Tenga. Nothing else supports that, so for now, I'm going to assume whoever named the files saw that the figure was called Mighty Morphin Tenga Warrior and proceeded to type Zuth Tenga rather than Zuth Tanga. Maybe we'll see evidence to suggest otherwise down the line, but that's what I'll be assuming to be the case for now. Which leaves us with the key. As ever, this is available in image form in the description, so feel free to share it amongst the community. By the by, I've modified the layout just a little to give some prominence to the Ranger colour codes. I've also replaced the note about the SREZ radar listing mentioned in part 5. Since it only comes from one source, I'm no longer confident in its validity, so I'm going to consider ZTH radar the correct, unaltered codename going forward. Let me know what you make of the ZTH situation in the comments. Thanks for watching!